Hello and welcome to another part of the agency driver series where I'm testing all the different makes and models of truck available in the game. Now the game is totally standard with no mods on at all, and today's journey is in the Renault Magnum. Now this particular one has a 480 horsepower engine. It is the 12-speed gearbox, and today we are taking a double trailer of plums. We are travelling from Berlin, which is the city where we left off in the previous episode. We are travelling to Hamburg, and I'm just going to bring up the map to show you what we're taking. Now in these I'm trying to take two different cities each time, so I'll just put in my things to do the discoverables there. Now Renault Magnum is a much maligned and hated truck in the game. Now I should tell you a little bit about them as we go, so that's the double trailer. As I explained in the previous episode, that double trailers only recently became available to haul in Germany and some other European countries, where previously they were only in the Scandinavian DLC. So without further ado,
okay, here we go.
We'll get away. Yep. So now I have previously done a video on the Renault Premium, but that is in poor quality, and I'm trying to find the same journey again to do that. So far I haven't, but if I haven't by the time this series ends, I will shoot another video on the Renault Premium. So part 3 is it's in poor quality. So a bit about the Renault Magnum. There's 3 engine options available. There's the 440, the 480 and the 520 in them. There is only one cabin option available. Then there's the full range of gearboxes, like the Allison 6-speeds with or without retarder. There's 12-speed with or without retarder, and a 16-speed gearbox option as well with them. So
turn left.
Now say some good. Now I can find good points in these, even if the likes of Mr. Squirrel cannot find. Alright, they haven't got many good points. That's one of them. They don't like to pull away in too high a gear, not like some of the trucks that can handle it. Right, point is, you appear to be sat fairly high up. The windscreen is nice and clear. The default seating position is actually quite good for in terms of seeing both mirrors. Now, as Renault do have a very good feature, they do have the front mirrored windscreen, so that if you're playing on a single monitor without track IR, that you can actually see it properly, so you can tell how near you are with the line. Such there. The rev counter has a prominent green band on it, and it doesn't have like a dial for speed or such. It has a digital one, which is okay. Now apart from that, so about it, there is no option available to alter the trim to put a satellite navigation in it. at all. So basic, your dashboard is the same as in the premium. That you've got your fuel gauge, temperature gauge, your air tanks, etc. You've got your outside temp and clock there. So it's got a digital speedo, which is actually one of its strengths. Got your gear indicator there, that shows the, like, you've got a digital fuel gauge which shows fuel we've got in. You have got a little display there that shows the cruise control if you set that, which I will do in a minute. And obviously what mileage the truck has done. And just below the fuel gauge there's a temperature gauge. Now display is the oil temperature. Yeah, and I don't know if that's AdBlue or oil level, the indicator that's there. You've got what fuel you've got left and how long it's going to last you, approximately. You've got your current fuel consumption and your average fuel consumption. Now I do have them set in litres per 100 miles, and that just takes you back to that again. So yes, they're big, they're ugly, they're not the most stable of vehicles to drive in the game, so I can see why Mr. Squirrel hates them so much. But if you just go off other people's opinions, everybody would stick with a Scania. Now, mate, that's wrong. You should always form your own opinion of them by driving them, to experience with them. Now I know some people absolutely love these, not there as a starter truck. Well, say Renault's trucks are like Marmite, you either love them or you hate them. Now in truth, I don't mind the premium, but I do not like these at all. But as I say, I'm trying to give neutral reviews of them as best I can. If I come to another rest area, I'm going to try and show you an error in the modelling of these trucks. Now Renault used to be previously known as runner in the early SCS drive games. Now I suppose what a lot of people forget is with Renault trucks is actually it's Volvo that own them. So now the Volvo tie-up with Renault came about because basically Volvo wanted a stronger market and a bigger foothold in North America. So in order to get Mack trucks, which were in partnership with Renault, they had to buy Renault as well. So, but so in the very early version of the version, I don't know if it was Magnum or the Integra, which or the one that preceded these. That's why some of them use Mack engines in them. So all the engines in the Renault trucks are inline sixes. So Renault have headquarters in Lyon in France, but they are made in a few different and Volvo's owned them since about 2001 completely. As I say, tie up between them and trucks because they tried Renault trucks to a merger that made them the owner of Mack trucks, which enabled them to get a better foothold in North America. Engines, gearboxes have done, chassis just the 4x2, the usual 6x2 and 6x2 for derivatives, and the 6x4. To me, I find these one the most unstable chucks in the game now. As for terms of customisation, yes, there is some available from them, but just the default stuff now. You can't really do that much to improve the looks of the truck at all, so start truck, well, as I say, that's up to you, but I wouldn't, but have some in your, don't expect it all having them in your fleet for your drives, because it doesn't matter what their drive. To me, although just good pulling it, yeah, parking space.
Go straight on.
And I hope this has got the trim level in it. Does it? If not, I'll go into the truck browser and show you something. It's a glaring error in the modelling of these trucks, and I can't believe that they haven't sorted it out yet. So
go straight
just
on.
pull in here for a minute. I don't think that come up with well off road. Right, so I don't know if this one has it in. Right. See the driver's seat there? Get a better view. I can do this because I haven't got cap. Now, see the driver's seat there? It's like the dark grey and it has orange side bands with the red spotted things. Now, in all the trucks, the driver's seat and the passenger seat matches, but in the Renault Premium, with this trim level, if I pan around now to show you what the passenger seat looks like, you'll notice it's totally different. Now, why they've done that, it has a bit of coloured trim on the bolster there, a headrest, but the seats are totally different in these trucks. Now, would you think that that's a complete modelling error or something? To me, it's just daft. Should have realised that with these. Now, these trucks, they will romp and go, but it's getting them up to speed because the acceleration on these is sometimes very, very sluggish. So that's an area that SCS could work on with these, but then again, the Magnum as a model has been around since the early 2000s, so in real life, so I suppose it'll be one of the oldest modelled trucks in the game as well. Truck stability in the game, there's some trucks that's more unstable than others and you turn them over, so mine as well. And you're looking for a mod of a Renault Magnum that's I think it's updated to the latest 1.35 compatible with DX11. Is Knox does an excellent one as well that you can get, and that gives a load of different trim colours, level, interior, a lot more customization outside, so you can actually make one that doesn't look too bad. But bear in mind that the Renault Magnum is the ugliest truck in the game in my opinion. So the power in them they're supposed to have, they don't seem like they have it half the time yet. I've done different profiles and quick jobs as well as once or twice, briefly owning them before I passed them on to employed drivers. These aren't actually too bad at pulling the heavy loads, believe it or not. Especially with a 16-speed gearbox. I know these can pull the haul truck chassis alright, and they do struggle on Monday route, which is the one that's Stavanger to Oslo, or is that, I think sometimes memory goes blank here. You're the one that has a very steep bank in it, but a lot of trucks struggle with that bank. So if you want a challenge, get a low power truck and try and select the same road that the
Keep left.
that the special transport takes between Stavanger and Oslo, and I think you'll find just about one of the steepest climbs on the that's available in the default map with DLCs without going on pro mods or anything. So it really, and you say this game, if you want a challenge, go manual, transmission if you can. So the smallest engine truck buy the smallest engine truck you can, and whatever chassis you like on it. Some chassis are easy to pull, loads and others, and go and pull the locomotive or a load that you wouldn't think you took with a normal cable lobber, and try and do some deliveries. But a small power truck now, well, a bit of a challenge, because in that you'll have to learn about gear changes, splitting gears,
Keep right.
if you've got set for them,
Exit right.
and that. So learn how to keep momentum
Exit
going.
right.
You're going uphill now. If you same as
Caution. Please
ATS
mind the
as well,
speed.
that come to an off ramp or a steep climb, and there's no way you can get going in manual without rolling back each time, no matter how long you've tried it.
Turn
There
left.
is a little cheating technique that is how you can do it. Is go into the game options on controls, make sure you put your handbrake on before you go into this menu, safety. Go into the controls,
Keep right. And then turn right.
and where it says you can select your transmission type, where you've got like the H shifter and what have you, just change that to automatic, exit out the menu, go back into your truck, put a little bit of accelerator on, release the handbrake, and then you'll find your truck will pull away, and the bit is pull back over when you're on the flat, and if so desired, then you can go back in and switch the truck back to however gear method you want to. Now you can use that technique quite legally on single player and in multiplayer, and that because like in single player, if you've got it enabled, which there's videos and guides around showing you how to use a console, what commands you
Keep
use.
right. And then turn right.
Now, where I don't think you can actually do much in the console if you're on
Turn
multiplayer,
right.
but single player, it's your game, so you play it how you like. So I just find it's more rewarding and more satisfying if you say, well, known as grind your profile, which means you have to work for the money that you get. Now I've just got standard economy and get economies that are a lot harder, so you don't get paid as much for jobs and things like that, but that's it. I don't use those, I just leave it on standard and grind my profile out. Now profile is it, so there's no right and wrong way to do this, because I don't use them myself. Everybody else like using the XP cheats, the money cheat,
Keep
etc.,
left.
which you can do
Then
that,
turn
but
left.
to me there is no satisfaction in
Turn
doing
left.
that way, but it's alright if you want to build a quick profile for multiplayer days. But say whereas you can do quick jobs in these till you can earn enough to get your desired truck, or you can do a few jobs, take a €100,000 loan out and buy whatever truck you can get for that. Now there isn't a vast amount of choice available for that level of money, or you can do quick jobs, go to level 3, choose a few skill points to distribute. About how you distribute them yourself is up to you. And then when you get to level 3 you can take up to a €500,000 load out, buy your truck that way, set a garage up if you want to, etc. Or you can just continue quick jobs till you've earned enough to buy your own truck outright, and trailer and things. So
get ready to turn right.
There's no right and wrong way strategy to do this, but to me it's more satisfying if you grind your profile out. Like I've started to do here.
It was a nice ride.
So started the profile, driving all the different makes and models of trucks, and then when I earned enough, I'll go and buy my own truck, which I'm a long way off up to now. So anyway, that concludes the driving part of this journey. So just knock the engine off. Trailer, and then we'll see the results here, and then get there. So, and that concludes this episode featuring the Renault Magnum, and I shall catch you again in another one. Good 10-10. I'm down and I'm gone. Stay safe on the roads and don't have too many accidents. Goodbye.